For nearly 3 decades, the world knew them only as the Silent Twins, 2 sisters who spoke to no one but each other, locked in a private language, a world of whispers no outsider could enter. But in March 1993, that silence shattered. One twin died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. The other, June Gibbons, was left alone, free for the first time to tell their story. What pact bound these sisters so tightly that death itself seemed the only escape? And what secrets were etched in the pages of their diaries? Pages that spoke of love, jealousy, rage, and ultimately tragedy. This is the story of June and Jennifer Gibbons, the Silent Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons were born on April 11, 1963, in Aden, Yemen. Their parents, Gloria and Aubrey Gibbons, were originally from Barbados, part of the Windrush generation of Caribbean immigrants drawn to Britain by promises of opportunity. Aubrey served in the Royal Air Force, and the family followed his postings around the globe. By age 8, June and Jennifer began to withdraw. At first, it was a refusal to answer teachers, then classmates. Soon, even their parents were locked out. Diagnosed with selective mutism, a rare disorder characterized by a refusal to speak despite normal comprehension, they retreated into themselves and into each other. In 1974, the Gibbons family settled in Haverfordwest, a small town in Pembrokeshire, Wales. It was here that the twins' world began to fracture. As the only black children in a predominantly white community, June and Jennifer were met with suspicion and hostility. The silence was not a symptom. It was their decision, a deliberate choice to reject a world that seemed unwilling to accept them. As one teacher recalled in later interviews, it was like trying to talk to a brick wall. You'd ask them a question, and they'd sit, unmoving, eyes fixed, almost daring you to make them speak. Their silence, however, was only the beginning. In the shadows of this quiet rebellion, June and Jennifer began to construct a world of their own, one that would grow darker and more dangerous with each passing year. Within their silence, June and Jennifer wove a rich private world. They spoke in a secret tongue, an invented language of their own making, constructed from rapid whispers, mirrored gestures, and cryptic rhythms no one else could decode. Psychologists termed it cryptophasia, a phenomenon where twins develop a private idioglossia, understood only by them. For June and Jennifer, it wasn't just a secret language. It was a fortress against a hostile world, and the foundation of a bond no one could break. Their diaries, filled with confessions and creative fantasies, revealed an inner life at once vivid and troubling. They imagined elaborate stories, created entire casts of characters, and expressed raw emotions about love, jealousy, and control. The language they spoke kept the world out, but it also locked them into each other's orbit, fusing their identities into a single, inescapable narrative. It was a pact of creativity, secrecy, and, as we'll soon see, destruction. As adolescence gave way to young adulthood, the twins' private world spiraled into acts of defiance and destruction. In 1981, June and Jennifer's diaries became darker, mirroring their escalating real-world behavior. Vandalism turned to theft. Theft turned to arson. They set fire to a tractor dealership, causing over £30,000 in damages. Weeks later, a local technical college building was set ablaze. The twins, dressed identically in court, offered no defense. Their silence was as eerie as it was defiant. In December 1981, June and Jennifer Gibbons were convicted of multiple counts of arson and vandalism. But instead of prison, they were sentenced to indefinite detention under the Mental Health Act, confined to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric institution designed for the most dangerous patients in Britain. Inside Broadmoor, their bond was tested in ways no one could have imagined. Broadmoor Hospital was built for society's most dangerous patients: murderers, sexual predators, those deemed criminally insane. Yet in 1982, two young women, neither violent nor irredeemable, entered its walls. Inside, June and Jennifer were heavily medicated with antipsychotics and sedatives. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, though later scholarship suggests this was a misdiagnosis, the twins became ghost-like, shuffling through locked wards, eyes glazed, their silence now enforced by drugs. Modern analysts argue that the system's failures were profound. The twins' behaviors, so-called folie à deux, or shared psychosis, were misunderstood, their cultural isolation ignored, their treatment shaped by racial biases prevalent in psychiatric institutions of the era. Years passed in a haze of sedatives and observation rooms. But even within Broadmoor's locked wards, June and Jennifer's bond remained unbroken. It was here, amidst the pills and the silence, that they made a chilling pact. In early March 1993, after over a decade of confinement at Broadmoor, plans were made to transfer June and Jennifer to Caswell Clinic in Bridgend, a step down in security, a step closer to freedom. But as the transfer day approached, Jennifer became unwell. She complained of dizziness and a strange sensation in her chest. Doctors examined her but found nothing conclusive. Within hours of arriving at Caswell, Jennifer collapsed and died. An autopsy later confirmed her cause of death: acute myocarditis, a rare but natural inflammation of the heart muscle. No traces of drugs or toxins were found. The coroner's inquest ruled the death as natural, though sudden. June would later reveal that she and Jennifer had made a pact, a final, fateful decision that one twin must die so the other might live. Whether Jennifer's death was a tragic coincidence or a psychological culmination of years of shared delusion and somatic stress remains a haunting question. After Jennifer's death, June was discharged from Caswell Clinic within a month. For the first time in her life, she was free, not just from Broadmoor, but from the shadow of her twin. In the years that followed, June rebuilt her life. She lived with her family for a time, worked quietly in a local library, and maintained a low profile in the Welsh community that had once isolated her. For the first time, she was heard, and she spoke. Though June's silence ended, she remained private, protective of her story. Her life after Jennifer's death was marked by quiet resilience, a slow and deliberate reintegration into a world she had once rejected. The twin bond had been broken, but June's life, though forever marked by loss, was hers to live. The case of June and Jennifer Gibbons continues to fuel speculation. Some observers whispered of supernatural bonds, twin telepathy, or a psychic pact fulfilled. But closer examination suggests more grounded, if no less haunting, explanations. Psychiatrists have described the twins' behavior as a rare instance of shared psychosis, where two closely linked individuals mirror each other's delusions and withdrawal from reality. Their mutual silence created a psychological echo chamber that intensified their isolation. Jennifer's sudden death, though medically diagnosed as acute myocarditis, has sparked debate. Could years of stress, combined with their pact and possible psychosomatic strain, have contributed? Some experts suggest Jennifer's body gave out under the weight of her own mind's expectations. Scholars have also noted the racial and cultural biases that shaped the twins' experience. As black girls in a predominantly white Welsh town, their eccentricities were viewed through a lens of suspicion. Diagnostic disparities and institutional failures further isolated them, turning a complex psychological struggle into a prolonged detention. No single theory fully explains what bound June and Jennifer together, or what ultimately separated them. But their story remains a haunting testament to the fragility of identity, the complexity of mental health, and the silent, unbreakable bonds we may never fully understand. Decades after Jennifer's death, the story of the silent twins continues to resonate. In 2022, a major feature film, The Silent Twins, brought their story to the screen, highlighting both their psychological struggles and the societal forces that shaped them. In 2023, a podcast explored June's life in unprecedented detail, offering a rare glimpse into her post-Broadmoor years. Their case has become a touchstone in discussions of mental health, identity, race, and systemic bias. It challenges our assumptions about silence, self-expression, and the limits of psychiatric understanding. For June Gibbons, silence was once a refuge and a prison. Today, her story is a reminder of resilience, of tragedy, and of the enduring questions that bind us all.